What's up? It's Kurcher85, and I'm back with another video. And tonight, on this very night, me and my dog Rocco have decided that we will be listening to every Anthony Fantano 10 out of 10 album.
Hi everyone, Spanthony me Tano here, the internet's busiest music nerd.
Ooh, that's nasty already. What the fuck?
I'm feeling a 10. It's a J to a 10. I'm feeling a come in 10 strong 10. I'm legit feeling a strong 9 to a 10.
I'm feeling a strong 9 to a 10 on this thing.
Hell yes. Unequivocally feeling a 10. I feel like I just have to give this a 10, which is why I'm feeling a strong 9 to a 10, which is why I'm feeling a strong 9 to a 10 on this LP.
Every album he's ever given a 10 out of 10, I will be listening to and giving my opinions on if I think they're 10 out of 10s. I respect Anthony Fantano. I think he has good takes. I think he has bad takes. So I'm not going into this being like a stan, being like, I'm gonna love all of these probably. But yeah, I'm excited. And my taste in music is very like, it's like so indie, like, no, but I don't think it's really the same as Anthony Fantano, so, but he's like he's supposed to be like objective, so we'll see. And I'm open-minded. I like a lot of types of music, so I don't know, but I'll start later. I'll start tomorrow. Also, I think I should clarify that I'm only doing the ones that he's made videos giving 10s, because I know he like has like a rating system like online where he went back and gave a bunch of albums 10s. I'm not gonna do all those. I'm just gonna do like the 9 or 10 or so albums that he's like made videos and given 10s. So just thought I'd clear the air because somebody farted. Today we're gonna start with Sinner Get Ready by by Lingua Ignota. So, woo! Okay, so I'm trying to work. I just listened to the first song. And I feel something already. This is gonna be a very emotional experience because that song really... Okay. This might not have been the best decision to listen to this at work. And I'm 3 songs in. Many hands just kind of broke me. But we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going. But this is one of the most beautifully horrifying albums I've heard yet. I mean, and I'm literally just starting. Ooh. I don't know, and the thing is, I don't know how I'm gonna be able to like compare this to other 10 out of 10s, because he also gave like BRAT a 10 out of 10, and it's like, well, I can't compare this album and BRAT. They're just like opposite ends of the spectrum, but I don't know. I'm trying to distract myself from finishing this album because I want to, but ooh. Wow, what an album to start on, am I right? Oh my gosh. I have finished the album. It is beautiful. Beautiful. What? Sinner Get Ready was a very emotional experience. Very powerful and very scary at the same time as being very beautiful. It's clearly the result of a lot of trauma and a lot of distrust in this person's life that, in this album at least, I haven't heard her other music, but in this album at least, a lot of it surrounds the Christian faith and Christianity. And I'm not gonna like get into my personal stuff, but it was very impactful for me and meant a lot hearing that. And it was also just very heartbreaking to hear about her, kind of trauma surrounding that, especially on songs like Every Hand or the Repentance song, that are just so scary and distrustful. The Every Hand song made me feel very emotional. It's just a story of what sounds like a sexual assault that happened. And in the context of this album, in the context of the song, it's just all the more bone-chilling and terrifying. The opening track has these very like jump scare-esque like piano bangs that come in like halfway through and are just so disorienting and terrifying and really like set up the album in a good way. I don't know. And are just so like, oh my god. Pennsylvania Furnace is like a very like sad song almost that feels very like claustrophobic and like, I don't know, just dark. The image of dying with my dog and going to hell is just so vivid and scary. The sacred lineament of judgment is just like one of the best examples in the album, I think, of just how gorgeous the vocals on it are. There's so much happening. There's so much layering going on with harmonies, and the notes that she hits are just some of the most incredible, like awe-inspiring, like up on top of the world notes that just make you feel like this like etherealness that is, I think, embedded in the album. Is so intense and scary, but at the same time just again just so like awe-inspiring and cool. I don't know. My favorite track, Man Is Like a Spring Flower, is this like repetitive kind of song about how hard it is to get a man. Not really, but nothing can satisfy man, no woman, no single person. It's just like these very like hitting lyrics that are behind this like absolutely beautiful like chord progression that's almost like catchy in a way, like you just want to keep listening to it, and it's like hypnotic in a way. It's just so entrancing and beautiful and everything. And it also starts off with this like vocal segment about this pastor, and she's like, that's not him, like that's not what he really is, and it's powerful. And then the closing track is very haunting as well. I think the whole album is just so emotionally draining. It's so like intense and raw and unfiltered, and the second song on there is like a story of a woman like begging for God to kill somebody, and she's like, I don't give a fuck what you say, you're gonna kill them. And it's like, oh my gosh, this is insane, but I kind of relate to this in a way. So yeah, Sinner Get Ready by Lingua Ignota is, I mean, undoubtedly 100%, in my opinion, a 10 out of 10 album. A 10 out of 10 album as well. I have also just read the statement that she wrote about her ex relationship with the lead singer in Daughters, and it really just adds this second layer to a lot of moments on the album that make them feel just especially powerful and hurtful and scary. And you know, I didn't know any of this before listening to the album, so everything I said still stands, but I think it does add a second layer, and I think it just adds to an already amazing album by having context. It really does scare me to listen to the Daughters album, though. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, just because I don't know if I can stand listening to somebody that's that terrible for so long. But I have not finished reading her statement. It's an extremely long statement. One that I will take the time to read. But just the fact that it's so long and so thorough is just very damning, and the fact that the lead singer has apparently not said anything. It's just very scary. So I don't know if I'll be able to listen to that album, but we'll see. I'm very mixed on The Turning Wheel by Spelling. There's a lot of parts that I really like about it, but there's also some parts that are kind of holding it back for me. So let me get into that. I do want to start with what I love. I do love throughout the entire thing the instrumentation. Almost all of the time it is beautiful and breathtaking and layered and very whimsical feeling, and it's kind of like a triumph moment. I was listening to it while I was walking in the woods at one point, and it just felt like I was in a music video kind of, and I think it's very pleasant in that way, and I think there's so much talent that went into this album, that I just can't deny just how beautiful it sounds. Almost the entire time, especially on songs like Awaken, it is just absolutely beautiful, and I am completely in love with the song Legacy. It has this absolutely incredible chord progression that just cannot be beat. It just sounds so good, and it like is on repeat in my head. I just can't get it out of my head because it's written in such a catchy way, but it's also so well sung, and I'll get into that, and well produced with just like a genius chord progression that I can't get enough of. I also really love the theming on this album and the lyrics. I think they're very poignant. I think they work most of the time for me. I think the themes of nature and loneliness and isolation are all very present, and I can see those at least up front. And I know that there's a lot more that you can dig into with that, but that's just kind of what I got off of my like 2 listens to through it. I've listened to it about 2 or 3 times, and yeah, I think again I want to talk about not again, but I want to go back to Spelling's vocals, which I am very mixed on. Okay, but I want to say, like, I think that she has an absolutely gorgeous voice, and on songs like Boys at School, Revolution, and Awaken Again, and all of them, especially towards the back half, she just sounds absolutely incredible, like on the top of her game. And it really is like beautiful to hear, especially whenever she's doing all these like different layers of vocals and stuff. It's just like mind melting, like, oh my gosh, this is gorgeous. There are times on the album, like especially on the earlier half, like Little Deer, Always, Turning Wheel, and especially, I'm trying to remember which one. I think it's maybe Emperor with an Egg and Awaken. Just a good bit of the earlier songs don't really work for me as well. I think that her vocals, while sounding beautiful, kind of at their best, they come across as angelic and whimsical and absolutely stunning and beautiful. I think at its worst, it kind of sounds like Disney Channel music, like Disney music, but more like modern Disney, not like really Disney that I'm very fond of. Which is why I was a little disappointed in some of these. There's a track later on, Magic Act, I think, that I guess goes with the theme of magic, but sounds just like a Halloween song. like This Is Halloween, like that song. And I just can't really buy into it completely. I wish that I loved this as much as a lot of people clearly do. It's just not really like one that is overall my favorites, even though like songs like Boys at School and the ones I said before, Legacy, I will have on repeat because they're absolutely stunning and I can't get enough of them. So I would probably give Spellings, The Turning Wheel, a light 8. I listened to T-Pap. Yeah, it's amazing, guys. I mean, what can I say? Okay, so I'm gonna be completely honest and totally frank with you. I know you know me as Kurt Turb, but I'm gonna be frank. Is that I have not listened to this album all the way through before this, which I'm very embarrassed by. Like, I know G and X like front to back, and also Good Kid, Mad City, like I love that album. But for some reason, I just never got around to T-Pap. It just felt like such a big like task to overdo. And I knew a bunch of songs from it. Of course, I know like We Gon' Be Alright. And I knew that This Dick Ain't Free for some reason, and the opening track, Wesley's Theory. Like, I knew a good bit of tracks from it, but I had never listened to it as a full album, which was totally on me and embarrassing. But I have it on CD now, so I got to listen to it really high quality in my car because my speakers are great. I'm so happy about my speakers, and especially with the CD, which makes it so high quality. It just sounded amazing. Excuse me. I just had a Chick-fil-A Diet Lemonade, so that's what happens. It was like the production was just firing on all cylinders. Like, every single song from every producer is just incredible, and it offers just like a different kind of perspective for all these different themes that he's doing in all these different songs. Like, it just works so well. And then Kendrick's flow on it is just so consistently just like amazing. Like, and it's so varied. Like, it's not just the same thing every time. Like, you have like a normal Kendrick flow that's super great because he can rap his ass off. But then like on the song You, I think the 6th track on the album, it's like he's like borderline crying while rapping the whole time. And it's like, oh my gosh, this is working really well. And it goes, and there's like this like jazzy kind of spacey production that's just such a treat on the ears. And it's so like, it just pumps you up, you know? You're just like, oh my gosh, let's talk about racism, you know? But genuinely, it's like, I can't believe I hadn't listened to it. It's gonna be like on repeat in my car right now. Because I just can't get it out of my head, because I just think he's just so good at it, at like kind of like making a whole album feel unique, and like there's different ideas that work really well in each song, but the whole thing comes together and just like has an overall like kind of amazing story, kind of like the poem being an interlude thing is just so great. And I didn't know that that's where the echo sound came from, so that is fun to know. It was a little hard to take that part seriously whenever he's like, found myself screaming in the hotel room. I had just seen a lot of TikToks about it, so it made me laugh. But it actually is very impactful when you kind of dig into, you know, the context of that part. It's very actually pretty depressing, and yeah, I don't know. Every single feature is incredible on it. My favorites are Thundercat and Rhapsody probably, but they all work so well on their individual tracks, and I think that speaks to how well Kendrick is at like finding tracks that these people would be the best on. So I think very good on the features, but also very good on Kendrick for that. And the whole album ends with this like monologue / conversation that he's having with somebody, I don't know. But it's like an interview about the current state of music and like its effect on the world, and it's so moving and interesting. And he finishes the poem he's kind of been teasing throughout the album, and then he does another poem at the end that like is just like, it kind of like talks about the Pimping a Butterfly like title, like how that kind of ties into the album. Because that was like, I didn't really know what to think of the title until the like literally the end words of the poem, and I was like, oh, okay. So I think that's just genius, and it kind of feels like it could just be a great loop album that can kind of just go back into itself. I think it's a very special album, and I just like love it. I don't know. I also forgot to mention the incredible feature on, on Institutionalized with Snoop Dogg. I love him, Snoop Dogg. And also 2 other people, Anna something and Bilal. They're incredible on it, and that's one of my favorite tracks on the album. And then some of my other favorites are probably These Walls. If These Walls Could Talk is amazing. King Kunta has one of the best flows on the whole album. I think it's just like, it's so groovy and kind of jazzy, just like, I don't know, it's just amazing. And maybe like You is incredible. They're all incredible. I don't know, I don't have a least favorite. So yeah, I agree. I understand why it's considered one of the best rap albums of all time, and I agree. It's a 10 for me. I'm giving it a 10, so. Ooh, right, next album we're listening to is Kids See Ghosts by Kid Cudi and Kanye West. This is one I have listened to before. I remember thinking very fondly of it. I very much like it. I remember I really liked Third Dimension. Oh, we'll stay in this lighting. But yeah, I'm scared to see how it's aged because it's been a while since I've listened to it, and yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it is. Okay, I just finished listening to Kids See Ghosts by Kanye West and Kid Cudi, doing their little self-titled because they made it under the Kids See Ghosts name, and I just finished listening to it. It's not too long of an album. It's like 25 minutes. So I like it. I like that it's very concise and stuff. And I'll go ahead and start it by saying, yes, it is a very good album. It's very catchy. It's very fun. It's very innovative at a lot of moments. They're pretty impressive to just look at. And it was a nice like throwback for me personally, because I was never like super big into Kanye West. Is going to be like kind of crazy for some of y'all, but like I was never really listening to him for real on the regular, except for this album maybe. So it wasn't really a big switch whenever I switched over, but this one I was like, okay, well, I'll relive it now. Sorry, my hair, I keep messing with it because I don't really like the way it's falling. But I'll try it again, and yeah, it's very good. I will say I do think it has aged a little bit in not the best way. There's some lines in there that I'm like, I could never understand how that was like they're leveling up like Mario, or like, you're like, Mario, this is a video game. There's a lot of lines like that where I'm just like, that doesn't really hit. That sounds kind of corny. I can't lie. And a lot of flows on there are not my favorite. Like, I just am kind of like, I don't know. I feel like there could be a better person on this. I feel like somebody else could do a lot better on this right now. I don't know. Pusha T opens the album, is amazing. That's what to come. That's a little foreshadowing for what's to come. And Fourth Dimension is one of my favorite songs off the album. I love the sampling on that like 1920s Santa cartoon. Like that's epic. But there's a point in like a lot of songs where I just don't think it works. I think there's so many ideas that get thrown, and most of them do stick and most of them sound great, but sometimes it kind of comes across as like, oh, I don't know if I'm loving what's going on. I don't know if I'm making any sense. But Reborn is good. It's a little bit too much, I think, at times. It's just like, I'm so reborn. Keeps doing that for a while. I don't know, there's just a lot. I would even trim it a little bit more sometimes, is kind of my main thoughts. But I do really like the album. I think it's a great album. So, and I would be listening to it more if it wasn't like Kanye West. I'm just like, I don't really want to hear him for real. But my critiques are not to do with Kanye West and his like current state of being a Nazi. That's not like why I critiqued the album, because that's dumb. Yeah, it's a great album. So who's shocked? Let's go on to the next one. What's it gonna be? Going to the next one. I just gotta pee. Everybody knows that. I got the flow with everybody knows that. I got the bow. What does that mean? Turn off the camera! Alright, we're back at work. Today I think I'm gonna be listening to the Swans album, which I'm very nervous for. It seems like quite the daunting task to listen to a 2-hour album, but I have time to kill. So, and I need to do it if I want to finish this list. So we're gonna get started on that. I just know that it's kind of like a noise rock album, and that's another reason I haven't listened to it yet, because I'm just like not always the biggest fan of noise rock. So we'll see if I like it. Yay. Well, I did it. I listened to the entire Swans album. I did it in one sitting, so I really did get the whole experience. I did it while I was on a walk, and, you know, I got it done. And I have to say, it is really incredible. It is really strong. It has some of the most beautiful instrumentation that I've heard in an album this entire time. Some of the most long-winded passages that just go on and keep evolving onto each other and keeps, you know, circling back and calling back other things. It's just like a masterclass of an album. It's so well thought out and so well constructed and so beautiful. The lead vocalist is incredible. He does a lot of what I think they were trying to do on the Daughters album, but he really kills it, and he really shows off like the highs of his voice at times, but whenever he's not, it still is like very tolerable and very listenable and very enjoyable still, especially whenever you have such like beautiful instrumentation going on in the background. It's just like, wow, my God. Even the 34-minute epic Bring the Sun was, while a big task, just an incredible like odyssey of a song with just a bunch of bells and chimes and different guitar solos and different vocals. And even though it is the longest one, it has probably the least amount of words out of all of them, which I thought was interesting. So this is an album that's very focused on its instrumentation. And tracks like Screenshot, a great opener, are just incredible. And the start of Disc 2, She Loves Us, has this very glitchy start that is very fond to my ears. I very much like it. It kind of is like those like videos where there's a ball bouncing between two squares and it keeps getting closer and the ball starts bouncing faster. There's a part that sounds a lot like that, and it's really beautiful, and it ends up like working really well with the rest of the song. And yeah, I think that the closing track, To Be Kind, is definitely one of my favorites. It's one of the most like hardcore and epic closers I've ever heard. It's like, it almost sounds like it's like begging to not end, like this album just doesn't want to end almost, and it's just like grasping at straws trying to end, and it sounds desperate almost, and it just gets to this climax, and it just accepts that it's done, and it just kind of falls out, and it's so amazing, and it's such an incredible and moving like way to end the album, in my opinion. Yeah, there's not really much that I don't love about this album. My only slight problems are there are moments that, while I know that this is a very long album, and I do have a pretty good tolerance for longer albums, I think, there are moments that feel like they kind of go on for maybe a bit too long, or maybe are a little bit stretched out and kind of exacerbate the point a little bit, kind of, I don't know, it's like, okay, let's go on to the next idea a couple times. There's a few like patterns that I feel like go on for like 5 minutes at times, which I can see how you could like that if you're not like shit-brained and brain rotted like me. But I was kind of like, all right, let's switch it up a little bit. But it really is just like an incredible album. I don't have really any complaints with it. It's so well constructed and just so well made. I love it. So I'm gonna give it a strong 9. I've been taking iron pills lately, and it's making me poop like crazy. Like, come out of my butt. Why is it so hard to come out of my butt? I have been listening to BRAT. This is an incredible album. Yeah, it's an incredible album. I totally agree. If you don't know, on this channel, we do really like Charli XCX. Charli XCX makes amazing music that I just like can't even put into words how much it impacts me. Like, it just like is just so good, and like it's not even my favorite Charli XCX album necessarily. Like, How I'm Feeling Now is my favorite, but this album is still incredible to me, and still a 10 out of 10 to me. So I feel like I can't say too much about it that hasn't been said over the past year, but I just have such a like fond memories with this album as well. Like, I remember I stayed up until midnight to listen to it with my friend on FaceTime, and we were just having our own little rave at night, and it's just I always have memories like that, and going to the concert. I went and saw her live, which was so cool. Yeah, I just have a bunch of really great memories about it, and I do love her just openness on it and rawness with it, because I think a lot of people kind of discredit it for how like simple the lyrics are, but I think it just like works to convey how amazing and complex the music is, and B, just how like plain these emotions can be, and how helpful it is to kind of just say those a lot of the time instead of making it into a big metaphor, which I know Charli XCX is a fan of big metaphors. I follow her on Letterboxd. Like, I know she loves some crazy ass movies, so that's not her saying like it's not a great way to tell a story, but this kind of like reflection on her life, I think she seems like just such a like plain and raw person. It's kind of a weird way to put that, but I don't know, I think it comes across great on the album. And then the production by Charli and A.G. Cook mostly, and a bunch of other people, is just like mind-meltingly just amazing. I mean, we'll get to mind-melting production in a second, like truly mind-melting, but this is just so crisp and so, I don't know, just so, it seems like they really put a lot of time, like this seems like such a high effort project that I just like am totally in love with. I have it on CDs. My first ever CD I ever got was that album. I stole it from a Target. So, you know, I think I love the impact that it had on the world as well. It's just such a like it just blew up and it took everything over, and I think it just made the world a better place because people needed something like that at the time. And I think BRAT was just a great, you know, little moment. I don't know. But yeah, it's an incredible album. I still listen to it to this day. I was listening to it today. I mean, for the video, but I was listening to it like 2 weeks ago. If you want to know what my favorites are, my favorite on the album is Von Dutch. But I also really love Sympathy's a Knife, Back to Back, and 360. So those are my favorites. If I had to pick a least favorite, I mean, I was talking to someone about this the other day, and it's like, that's like the hardest decision ever, is to pick a least favorite from BRAT. But low-key, I've been feeling like it might be Rewind, because I don't know, something about it. It's like, I'm not in love with the rewind thing all the time. Like, sometimes I'm in that mood and I'm like, rewind, woo! But sometimes it's kind of like, ooh, I don't love it. I don't know, but that's an opinion thing, and it's not taking away from my opinions, because I still jam to that whole album and that song all the time. So now I'm done talking about Charlie. Hey! I need to talk about The Money Store. This might come as a shocker to a lot of people, but this is actually like a childhood album for me, honestly. Like, I was listening to this shit whenever it was like 7th grade and stuff, and I was just like jamming to it for some reason. I just like immediately clicked with it for some reason, and I loved it. And I'm so glad I got to grow up with it. And it's kind of led me down the path of like music that I listen to now, if I had to guess, just because, you know, it's just if you start somewhere, it's gonna end up there. And so I've been listening to this album for a long time, and it means a lot to me, just because of how intense and awesome it is. And a lot of the songs have like remained with me for a long time, like especially that opening track, Get Got, Hacker, Fuck That, I've Seen Footage is absolutely incredible. I think it's Punk Weight that samples an Indian song that makes it just so cool, transforms it into something completely new. I think the creativity on this album is just off the charts. I mean, I've been listening to it over the past couple days, just like over and over, because it goes by like that for me. And each song is so individually like incredible and mind melting, but it also all comes together in such a unique and fun way. And the rapping on it, the like yell rapping on it, is just so good. It always fits exactly how it should, and I genuinely like do not think I could have a complaint about any of these. I mean, every single song, I look at the title and I know exactly what it is in my head, and a lot of that is just repetition, but a lot of that is because they take this very industrial sound that they have, this very like electronic sound that they have, but also mixed with like industrial hip hop and like, I don't know what else. There's so many influences going into it. But they managed to do all this and make their own creative sound that has each idea as so unique and stand out that every single track on it is just amazing. And lyrically, I haven't even gotten to that, but lyrically, it's very futuristic, very like intense, and like, I don't know, a little freaky at times, but also, I don't know. I haven't gotten into the lyrics like crazy. I mean, I've read all of them, but I would like to go through and kind of analyze them more by myself. But I know they reflect the music very well, and they make it come across as just even more punk than it would have. Like, it's the delivery and the production, the mind-meltingly amazing production throughout the whole thing, and the insane vocal delivery and the lyrics all come together and just make like an absolutely unforgettable album that is my favorite of Death Grips, and just one of my favorite albums of all time. So I would have to say, I mean, this is kind of a little biased, and you probably expected this, but I would have to give it a strong 10 as well. Did you see me? I was hiding up there. Whatever, it doesn't matter. That's not why I'm here. I'm here to talk about the new Clips album, Let God Sort 'Em Out, okay? This is the most recent Fantano 10, to my knowledge, unless he posted one just now. But I've been listening to this album since it came out. Like, I remember before it came out, I was pretty hyped about it. I really liked the single that came out for it, Ace Trumpets, which was super, the trumpets were in there, and I love horn rap. Like, rap with like horn in it is super enticing to me. And so I was super excited for it, and it came out, and it took me a few days to listen to it, but I finally did, and I'm ashamed that it took me like even a couple days, because it's absolutely amazing. It really is one of the most consistent rap albums I've ever heard. It's so good from top to bottom. Just the whole track list has an amazing flow to it, but also a lot of like key like switch ups that kind of, some of the songs are like really pushing boundaries, and a lot of the songs are kind of more of a throwback to their old style of rapping, which I was a really big fan of both, and I think they worked really well cohesively, kind of like that. So yeah, the opening track, The Birds Don't Sing, is probably one of my favorite songs of the year. It does make me emotional, and it's just because you can tell it's from such a raw place in their lives, with each one of them singing about their parents and how much they love them. But it's also kind of like a confession of like, we were not the best sons, and it feels so tender and raw and beautiful, and I love it. It's an amazing way to start the album. The next one is Chains and Whips, which is kind of a switch up, but it feels like a good transition, with Kendrick Lamar, who absolutely bodies this performance, completely matching the like harsh energy of the song that Pusha T and his brother Malice bring, or No Malice, sorry. And yeah, this song is very intense and very like almost punk. It has these like really intense guitar chords playing, and it's super like in your face and like vibrant in a great way, I think. Yeah, this is one of my favorite songs on the album too. A lot of them are my favorite songs on the album, because next we have POV with Tyler the Creator, and again, Tyler the Creator absolutely bodies the performance. He completely matches, again, the harsher energy of this song. This song is very punchy and very like, kind of, I would never buy a bitch a Birkin cause she fucking me. Just stays in my head all the time right now. Yeah, I absolutely love this song. I think it's one of the best songs on the album. That my favorite. And then a few other highlights in the track list are Mike Tyson, Blow to the Face. It's just a very like straightforward, solid song. And if this song had been like 4 minutes of just this, it would have been maybe a little too much. But they make it a shorter song because they're not really trying to like stretch things out, and they're really just trying to like show you an idea and move to the next one. And I really like that. And then there's also Inglourious Bastards on the track list, which again is amazing. And then also there is By the Grace of God, which has Pharrell on it. And anytime Pharrell is on this album, it is just an absolute godsend. It is beautiful every time. His voice just sounds so crisp, but so natural, but like perfect. It's never offbeat, but it sounds very natural. And I just love the way he sounds on this album. Another one of my favorite songs, I'm trying to remember the name. I'll put it in right here.
Shit's replaced all the Pashas. Dior slides made of iguana. Stuff the walls for tomorrow. Fuck, I look like China.
But it has one of my favorite choruses of the whole album because Pharrell is just singing it, and he sounds just absolutely amazing on this track. And it's the one that I've most replayed because of just how enticing that chorus is to me. And yeah, I think they absolutely killed this album. My only slight complaint, very slight complaint, is a lot of the times, or sometimes the writing feels a little I don't know, too much, maybe a little too on the nose and maybe a little too forward, let Jesus take the wheel like a Tesla. It's there's a lot of lines kind of like that I don't really vibe with. I don't think really mesh well with kind of the tone that they're setting. But that's not really a big complaint. It's just kind of a personal thing, I think. And I completely understand why Fantano would give it a 10. I would probably give it a 9 or a 9.5. Because I genuinely do love it. And my only issues with it are very small and very not across the whole album. But yeah, I was very glad that he ended up giving this a 10. I did not see it coming, but I was oh my gosh, he gave this a 10, yay, you know? Okay. I'm not crazy about the Daughters album. You won't get what you want. And it's not for the reason I thought it would be. I went into this very hesitant, and I honestly thought that I might just skip this album entirely because of what I've learned about the lead singer. I can't remember his name right now, but there were a ton of allegations that are very grisly and very scary and terrible that have come against him by another singer-songwriter that was in this video, Lingua Ignota. And it paints a very terrifying backdrop on her album, and a almost as terrifying backdrop on this one, just given how violent and angry he is alleged to be. But that's not actually why I ended up not liking this album as much. The lead vocalist, Alexis Marshall, has one of the most monotone and annoying delivery style for this music I've heard in a while. There are rarely any moments that it reaches heights that I think actually match the music. I think on songs like the end of Long Turn No Road and at the end of Ocean Song and a little bit of The Reason They Hate Me, I think he does reach a part in his voice that complements the grittiness and hardcoreness of the music very well, but a lot of the time he sounds like he's singing it while walking into an office job, and you can say that's the point, but it's not interesting to listen to, and it doesn't come across very much like he cares about what he's doing. And that kind of matters a lot whenever the instrumentation on this album is so incredible. I really do admire the guitar solos that are on this album, especially towards the end. They just get so extravagant and brilliant, and whenever Alexis is not talking his face off about some bullshit, it really is beautiful for a minute, and I can see where people have fallen in love with it on these instrumentation sections, but his voice is very grating to me, and especially with a backdrop of being abusive and not the best guy. Not a good guy at all, actually. And then we also get to the lyrics, which I'm not really a fan of either. They feel very first draft, very edgelord, kind of, a lot of the times, kind of like a sophomore in high school's first draft at metaphors and similes and stuff. And some of them he seems so proud of, and he just keeps repeating, and they actually come across very annoying and very childish to me, that it makes him look almost weak to me. Like he can't really be bothered to do vocals very well, or write good lyrics. I don't know. This is probably going to be a hotter take because I feel like some people might defend this album, but it just really wasn't for me. And I am a fan of noise rock. I'm a big fan of noisy music all the time. Some of the best live shows I've been to are punk shows at my local, firehouse, or my local punk show place. But there's something so like sinister about this album, but it's like a mask. It's like not really sinister. It's like edgelord type of behavior that I really just cannot get behind at all. So for me, this album is probably a light 6. Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, the internet's busiest nerd. And today I'm going to be ranking all of the 10 out of 10 albums that Fantano has listened to. I have listened to all of them, and I'm ready. I have my ranking ready. I thought about it for a while. It took me a good minute to get it all done, especially like the later half, the ones that I really liked. It was really hard to choose between. But yeah, I think I'm ready. I have my ranking, and I think we'll just start. So I'm starting from the bottom. Now we're here. So number 9 is the Daughters album. You Won't Get What You Want. You won't get what you want. Just a great album if you just listen to the music, but then you hear about what the lead singer has done, and you read the allegations against him, and it kind of gives a bad backdrop to this album. But that's not really why I hated it. I think I would have put this at last anyway, because I think the lyrics are very surface level and annoying kind of, and very not my favorite, and I don't really like the lead vocalist and his vocals. I understand it's kind of an acquired taste type of thing. I guess I just haven't acquired it. So yeah, number 9, You Won't Get What You're Supposed to. Let's hope this works. I haven't tried it. Okay, next I have The Turning Wheel by Spelling. This album is very good. I did very much enjoy it. We've already gotten into albums that I enjoy, okay? But on this one, the vocals at times were a little bit too much for me. I think they sound a little Disney princess-esque, like in the more modern Disney movies. But the instrumentation is gorgeous, and when her vocals are hitting in a way that doesn't sound as corny to me, I think they're just absolutely gorgeous. And I think maybe after a few listens and maybe being able to really buy into it, I would like it a lot more. But I still very much enjoy myself and have a few songs from it on repeat. So number 7 is Kids See Ghosts by Kids See Ghosts, aka Kid Cudi and Kanye West. This album is good. It has great production on it. Very ahead of its time kind of production. I do kind of think that lyrically it's just not my favorite. Not only Kanye, but just like songs in general, just rap songs. And I think that Kanye's delivery is kind of just similar throughout the whole thing, and there's a few songs that get on my nerves a little bit, but overall I think this album is incredible and deserves the love it gets, even though Kanye is a piece of shit now, and I hate him, and we all should hate him because he's a Nazi. But yeah, that is not why it's lower too. It's just I have listened to it again, and it didn't scratch the same scratch that it scratched a while ago. Okay, number 6 is the Clips album, Let God Sort 'Em Out. this album is amazing. Okay, I've listened to it like 10 times. Okay, I love it. I think it's incredibly just consistent, incredibly amazing production the whole time by Pharrell. Just absolutely amazing album. It's kind of more in the middle just because I don't think it's necessarily breaking any like boundaries. I don't think it's doing anything necessarily like out of this world or crazy that would necessarily warrant like a 10 out of 10, because a 10 out of 10 for me is pretty like pushing it, and a lot of these songs are pushing it, but I think as an album as a whole it is just like a super consistent solid album, and I love it with my whole heart, and I'm so glad that we got it, and I'm so glad that Tyler the Creator and Kendrick Lamar are on it because they kill it, and all the features just kill it the whole time. So yeah, number 6 was this clip. So all right, number 5 is Swans. You Won't Go Before Your Swans, To Be Kind. This is the most recent album I've listened to. I'm still very much processing it because it is such a dense and long and hard to kind of get through at times album, but it is just so experimental and incredibly impressive just technically. The vocals and lyrics are just so intense and moving, and I think that this is like a very good version of kind of the Daughters album in a way. You know, it is a little like like I said, it is pretty dense at times, and like, oh my gosh, wow, there's a 35-minute song on here, but I think if you can kind of push past that, this album is like really moving and impressive and does so much with its runtime, and I think most of the time completely justifies itself with its noisiness and its instrumentation, and it's incredible. I can't talk too much on it, but it really is incredible. And yeah. All right, number 4. I have Sinner Get Ready. It kind of cut off right here. Sorry. Now we're getting into albums that I would give 10 out of 10s to as well. This album made me tear up on like 5 different songs. It is absolutely incredible. It is so moving and so raw and so honest, and so gorgeous, and just absolutely stunning, like jaw-dropping, mind-meltingly beautiful at times. And it's contrasted with these like incredibly real and dark lyrics that are just so intense and moving, but just so incredible. And it's an amazing like commentary on like Christianity and that community kind of, and also, but it uses that also to talk about like trauma and abuse and adultery, stuff like that. And it is just absolutely stunning from front to back. Like every single song on it is just absolutely incredible, and this is one that is a little hard for me to revisit, I think, just because of how emotionally like dense it is and impactful, but it is just so incredible, and it stands on its own. It's just, I love it. So that's my number 4. Number 3, a little bit of a vibe switch. BRAT. Bum 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 ba-dum ba-dum. Bum 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 ba-dum ba-dum. BRAT is incredible. If you don't know what BRAT is, yes you do. This is the most recent studio album from Charli XCX, and she absolutely kills it on this album, with just song after song being incredible after incredible song. That was a weird way to put that, but amazing production by A.G. Cook, and it just ties all these very raw and emotional themes together in just this amazing, fun, and vibrant package that I just have had on repeat and repeat. Like, this is my most listened to album out of all of the albums. It's just absolutely incredible. It's not number 1 for me necessarily because I think Charli has even better work out there. And B, I think that the next two are just a lot more boundary pushing again. This one is boundary pushing and very incredible and has set the tone for a lot of music right now, but it also is a lot of similar things for Charlie, even though they're executed incredibly, and I have no problems with it. So that's Brat. Number 2, Kendrick Lamar to Pimp a Butterfly. Love it. I can't get enough of this. This is my most listened to album since I've started this video. It genuinely is just like so incredible and moving at times, but so fun. And Kendrick Lamar just knows how to go over any beat, and he's up there with like Danny Brown for me with like best rappers, because he can just go over any beat and just make it sound incredible with all these different deliveries and all these different themes. And it's just such a great experience from front to back, kind of like it's such a great holistic experience. The poem that he keeps teasing throughout the album is super cool to me. I think it's a great way to kind of transition into the themes of the album for each song, and I just am obsessed with the production on it as well, with just a ton of different producers that contributed to this album. And I just absolutely adore this album. I think it's one of the best rap albums of ever. We'll say ever. I think it's one of the best rap albums ever to be made, and yeah, I'm gonna keep listening to it for years and years to come. But there's only room for one at the top, and if you did subtraction in your head, then you probably know what it is already. But if you forgot, I got you. Number 1, I have The Money Store by Death Grips. I think his first 10 and my first 10. This album is earth-shatteringly, mind-meltingly incredible. There's not a single song on it that has any low points. There's not a single song that does not maintain the same theme or the same idea, that doesn't also completely change everything and do something so unique. It is danceable, it is headbangable, it is bangable, it is raw, it is sexy, it is fucked up, and it is amazing. And this is the shit that I want. It's all I want. And it really, I think, set the tone a lot more than people give credit for like a lot of underground scene music, especially like electronic music like this. And I really do just think that this is one of the best albums of the decade, just in general, and especially one of the best electronic albums of ever. So yeah, that's my opinion, and let me know what you think down below. I'd love to hear your opinions. Transition, have you given these albums a listen? Did you love them? Did you hate them? What would you rate them? You're the best, you're the best. What should I talk about next? Please subscribe and please don't cry. Hit the like if you like. Hit the bell as well. And right next to me is my name. I appreciate y'all for watching actually a lot. This video was very fun to make. And that's going to be it for me today. Kurter85, out.